Hey there, it's Pam from Paper and Mallet. In today's video, I'm going to walk you page by page through Art Journal number 9, this one right here. Thanks for following along and thanks for watching the video. This journal was done between, I think the date, between December 2016 and December 2017. So I completed it, obviously about 4 months ago. But I haven't had a chance to show you, so I thought we'd take a quick peek through the pages. Here is the first page, the page of fear is what I like to call it. It's the page where I don't want to start on the first page. I don't really want to have anything on the first page because I don't feel confident. So I always start at the second page, or I start somewhere in the middle, but we're just going to go through it one page by one page. This page was a page that I use something called Pan Pastels, and I was going to show you. I pulled them over here. They are a pastel product, but it is in a little what they call pan, and it's powdery and chalky, full of all kinds of yumminess, as I like to think of it. And you use these cool little brushes to brush it on, or you can use your fingers or other devices, like, I don't know, different things like this. I don't even know what you call these kind of things. But anyway, you just kind of can spread it on and move it around, and it creates some really cool layers. But you do have to apply a fixative, which I have over the top of this one, or clear gesso probably would work as well if you were very careful with it. Otherwise, it would probably smear. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. So I haven't done a lot with the Pan Pastels. I would like to learn a little bit more with pastels. They scare me a little bit just because of their movement, and they seem difficult to use. But I'm sure they seem like a lot of fun, and that you can create a really soft look with them. So, okay, this is, I'm not sure. These are some, I think this might have been from my blog, this one. A lot of these images through here will be quotes or words that I've used in my blog that I was kind of feeling that day, and or images that I was using. This girl specifically, though, was from a class. I take a lot of online classes, and this one was with an artist named Mindy Lacefield, and she does girls that are typically girls or different kinds of art that are very whimsical in nature. And I've learned a lot about her, about kind of letting go of what you imagine something to look like and just kind of create from your heart, which is how she does. She does girls that tend to have wider faces, wide set eyes, higher hairline, long necks, small bodies. And to me, it just kind of shows you that you can create the art that is authentically you, based on what kind of image you're going to project. Probably her style is not going to be the direction that I'm going in general, but I've learned a lot from her, and a lot of the freedom that she's taught, kind of to loosen you up and get you going. I think this might have been from a class, but since this journal is well over, a year ago, or, it has been over the course of the last year, I can't really remember what that was from. And then some of them in here are just kind of like abstract textures, making marks, that kind of thing. This guy, I think, was from, well, I do know, was from a blog post I did, something about looking down a rabbit hole or going down a rabbit hole. A lot of them in here are practicing faces, images. There's some abstract figuratives in here. Just a lot of repetitive image. They're not the same images, but it's practicing faces, which is kind of the direction that I'm heading. And there's some abstracts in here too, just practicing with using colors. This one was kind of more of a landscape, and it was a class I took with Ivy Newport, who I also really enjoy taking classes from, and I've learned so much from her on you know, color, and I think there's some more in here of some images, faces, and things that she's classes she's taught. This picture, I wish you guys were here and you could touch this. It's just filled with texture. So many layers of paint. I think this was also Mindy Lacefield's class. There's just a whimsical nature to it. My girl though, looks like she's scared out of her wits. Probably her boat is sinking, but her little bunny friend looks cute. Okay, so for example, this image, if I was in my right mind, I'd probably just tear it out, you know, because I don't like anything about it. But I feel like it's important to be able to look back and go, okay, this is where I was and this is where I'm going. And even if today I might go or think to myself that it's not, you know, that well done, it's just part of the process. And I would hope it would be an encouragement to you, whatever process you're in, that you would just keep trying. Because you don't start out, things don't always, even when you get better, things don't turn out. But especially if you want to get better at something, you have to go through a lot of time of making, you know, things that don't look so great. A lot of good things. Keep moving forward. Focus. Hope. Trying to encourage. This is another, you know, abstract figurative. The person is embracing the house, the home, heart. That was kind of, I think, my intent in this image. This one is from the blog, and it was about kind of, you know, you're part of a story, but you're also writing your own story and just kind of embracing that. It also has a lot of cool texture. This is one of my favorites, I think, in this journal. Just, you know, kind of about holding out your heart to others or to whoever. And, you know, even if bits and pieces of your heart, you know, are floating away, that you still have your whole heart. And I think it's a real indicative, you know, you can give things away, but typically we still have our whole heart. And sometimes our heart's even bigger after we give parts of it away. It's another abstract figurative. I really like that kind of art. I just, you know, once again, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of work to kind of get it right so it doesn't look like, oh, here's a head on top of a long body or whatever. The people who do it well just are so skilled. Just like faces, you gotta practice and practice and practice. This one is, I feel like, is kind of symbolic of me pulling a wagon filled with rusty old junk, stuff that I love. And, you know, it's all about figuring out what stuff do you get rid of and what stuff do you shine up and turn into something new. Because it's not all good, but there is some pieces in there that might be good. This is was a class that I took with Ivy Newport, and wow, she just teaches so much on, you know, the palette was so limited on light and dark. Where are your lights and darks, and and your midtones, and how do you use those to create a person using just a few simple colors. And I didn't get it all right, obviously. I mean, I'm learning, but there are parts of it that are right, and I think that's the heart of it. It's like, okay, I got part of it right this time. How will it go the next time? Just each time you're learning something, you're drawing from something, and to not give up when it doesn't happen the first time, when things don't turn out how you'd like them the very first time. It's just a process. Lots of texture in these. Lots of layers of paint. Almost every single painting or, you know, in here or whatever is in here, all has started with a background of multicolors. Let me grab real quick one of my other art journals and I'll show you what I mean. They all start with something kind of like this. Then I do the work on top of it. That's why you see yellow and red and these other colors, and even inside her, is because when you paint on top of this or you draw the image on top of it, some of this peeks through. And that is the part that is unexpected, and I think that is the part that makes this very unique, is all of this. It makes it just richer and deeper, and it's very, very much the look that I'm going for. Okay, this is a very large vase, and yeah, it's good to practice large because it kind of, brings out all those pieces, but obviously to me, there is some of the dimensional pieces that are not quite the way I would like them to look. And that's just part of, the process. I wish her, there's just some parts, but doing it over and over again and then being open enough to share it and just kind of pushes me to keep going and keep trying, because that's how you learn. Just different, shapes and using different, very limited palettes. Like this one is very limited. Underneath where this quote is, there was much still inside her. It's colorful, but the rest is very muted. So it's just kind of practicing with color or lack of color, and then just doing the same thing over and over again. Now this is kind of more abstract figurative, and I'm liking the look of this a little bit more, maybe because it's all very muted, which I do like, and her hearts are filling her cup, or the cup is letting the hearts go. Either way. Faces. And faces at an angle are tricky. Faces looking off in a different direction with a different body position. This is a Christmas card that I drew for the business that my husband works for. Must have been for 2016, December 2016. Trying the side. It's just all practice. This was a simple art journal page that I did, just kind of showing that you use simple backgrounds, simple colors, to make a fun art journal page. More faces. This was from a class also. Different poses. Wow. Okay, so this one, obviously trying to work with different colors for the shading. Yeah, that's a round face, and I've got a round face as well, so hopefully this is not a self-portrait, but that's part of learning. This was my December 2017. This is probably the last one I did in here, even though it's not the last image. When I had a 1-year celebration for my website last December, I kind of was, popping the champagne and celebrating, kind of cheering myself on. More faces. Just, hair, face, just really trying to work at, making it happen. It's just like, but now I can look and I go, okay, that's some really cool shading here, but those eyes are too big, that mouth is too big. But that can also be the look, and that's okay. And then that might be the look. And in this case, probably the image that I was looking at, the person had green hair. This is not typically my style, but there are so many artists who are able to use color like this, and it looks right and authentic, and they just are, you know, brave in their choices. And I feel like it's easy just to be the same, brown, blonde, black, whatever hair coloring, instead of saying, hey, you know, let's be footloose and fancy free here and do something a little crazy. And I think that's what art is about, is not just doing things the same way. I'm not doing a portrait here of somebody, replicating it so it looks like a photo. You know, my style, that's not something I'm actually drawn to. Not that I could do it even if I was drawn to it, but you know, my style is different from that, with a lot of texture, but hopefully, you know, with some emotion and with some meaning behind it is hopefully my intent. And here is the last image of a girl. Thank you so much for watching this video, for supporting me and leaving comments. I just appreciate each and every one of you who follows along.